Have you heard that?
Yeah, so I got it. So let's get started. So thank you, Dr. Oliver, for allowing me to talk to you. That's a great honor to have you in this
Thank you.
interview. So I'm been meeting with a lot of leaders around the world in the project management landscape and also on the project management office landscape. So today, I wanna hear from you about the project business, how project business help project management professionals and also the organization to deliver better projects. Can you tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about that?
I would make a distinction. First of all, thank you for having me. And it's an honor for me too. I would make a little distinction. One thing is project business. This is already happening. We have project business. We had this in some environments for decades, maybe even for centuries. And what I see at the moment and what I measure at the moment with surveys is the significance of project business and the importance of project business is going up. Many organizations buy things, by work, by anything from outside the organization, let contractors do work that they would have done internally maybe 10, 15 years ago. This is a very strong trend that is happening right now. So this is project business. As such, it is not new, but its significance is growing. And where in the past, you may have had a project with just one contractor, today you have networks of contractors there with subcontractors and subcontractors. Banks are part of that for financing. You have insurance companies and surety companies and so on. The world is getting more complex in here. Freelancers, of course, freelancers are part of that too.
Yeah.
And the world is growing more and more complex, and we have to help people to come along with this complexity, to understand it, and to be successful with their projects. And that's what I call project business management. Project business management is the management of project business, of course. So to take a proactive approach, take a managerial approach, not just let it happen, but make sure that people know what they do, that they do the right things, or if they do something wrong, that they understand it early and fix things early before things become too expensive. And that's first of all a matter of education. That's where I'm in, of course, as a trainer. It's also a matter of organization. Companies have to help their people to do better project business. Do better projects, but also to look at the commercial side of that. If you are a contractor, commercial side means it's about profitability of the project. If projects are not profitable, the contractor will not survive. It cannot be in our interest, in the interest of contractors and of people around, that they go bankrupt. The other thing is liquidity. It is normal for a contractor to lay out money for the customer during the project. And it can be an awful lot of money. My old home industry is automotive. And in automotive, it is normal that you have payment terms, 60 days, 90 days, which means as a contractor, you finance your customer's project. It's not them financing their project with their money. You do it at least for a long period of time. And the question is, how much money do you have on the bank? What is your credit line that you can afford to do that? If you're running out of money, your best will, yes, I want to make my customer happy and I want to deliver a great product. It doesn't help. You cannot afford it anymore. Yeah. So we have to look at commercial questions. And then there is a third thing for both sides, customers and contractors. One of the other big differences between project business on one side and internal projects on the other side is in project business, there is a contract and there is always litigation as a threat in your neck. You know, if you do something wrong, it may end at court, and may end at court will have a lot of negative effects. One effect is you will not, as a contractor, you will not get the money that you expect. There will be some kind of settlement, so we'll probably make a loss in the project. It takes long, it is expensive, and everything is taken into a public environment, into a public domain. People see what you're doing. The press will talk about that. I had a I had a paper written 2 years ago. I wrote a paper on a failed IT project, ERP project in Germany at the company Lidl, and I have some papers on academia.edu, and it's one of my most read paper. People go there and read about this project, which means it's embarrassing. Of course, sorry, it is for Lidl. Yeah? It was their project that failed, and it seems they invested €500 million, €500 million, and they canceled the project. But also for the consultancies involved, and to some degree even for SAP. Yeah? So it's in the public environment, and people know what you're doing.
Right. So I have a question. So what would be the difference for, so you know that the PMI, they have an approach based on the project management body of knowledge. So what would be the difference between project business and PMI framework?
PMI has an almost exclusive focus on internal projects, first of all, and does not show much interest in project business so far. This may change, and I'm talking with PMI people, and I tried to convince them, hey, this should be a topic for PMI. This is also project management. At the moment, I must confess, I haven't been that successful on that. The biggest difference, I think, the number one difference is an internal project is a cost center. It is a disruptive factor in the organization. You have an organization that produces some products, so many thousand a day, or you have services, and you have so and so many phone calls maybe for a call center or whatever your service is. So this is ongoing business, and this is the business in most organizations that brings money home. Now comes the project, and the project is a disruptive factor. It takes people out of operations and uses them in the teams. It causes operational disruption. It disrupts the operations in one way or the other. It comes with certain risks. Operations have to bring predictability and order. Projects bring uncertainty and rarely real predictability and possibly no order. They may bring chaos. So you are a bit second class in the organization as a project manager in an internal project. In a customer project, it's the other way around. Now, this is no more a cost center. This is a profit center. You bring money home, and in many organizations and in many projects, this is the money that the organization lives from. This is their income stream. Right. At least it is a secondary, sometimes it's a secondary income stream. But often this is the primary income stream. If this doesn't go well, the company will run into a loss, will run into problems with their credit line. So, and project managers are the managers of the profit centers. Often managers say, or even project managers say, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to deal with that. This is not our part of the business. We just do the project. That's not how things work. The project is a profit center. So the manager of the profit center has profit responsibility, plus cash flow responsibility, plus, of course, the legal responsibility. If they do something wrong, it may hit back later at a court. You have a lawyer, and the lawyer tries to run your court case, and the problem is always what the project managers have done before. Poor documentation and poor performance, and now it ends at court, and a judge will tell you, hey, what have you done here? And if you say you did this and that, can you give us evidence for that? Can you provide evidence? And people have to say, sorry, no, it wasn't documented, and we didn't think it was so important, and you run into a problem. So as soon as the project managers understand that they are running a profit center, and as soon as their managers understand that too, that's also important. The position of the project manager is changing. Right. The challenges on them are changing, and they have to be prepared to do that, because if they don't take these challenges, if they don't manage the project manager, the profit center, right. If it's not the project managers, who will do that? Who will do that? There's no one there.
So that's a good point. And well, you were talking about that, so I was thinking about the project management offices.
Yes.
The PMO is basically established to deliver value and to be aligned with the strategic initiatives in the corporation, which are related to a profit center to add the value to the bottom line of the organization. So project business or thinking aloud is that you need to be all the project managers, they should practice project business for that. And you mentioned also before about the center of excellence. So if an organization want to create a center of excellence, all the project managers should have this mindset of project business. So they should be aligned. So what else would you say to the PMO leaders embracing project business in their organization, and how will that contribute for them to be successful in delivering value to those organizations?
I think this center of excellence, or another term I heard in an organization was Project Business Management Office, PBMO. It means the same thing, PBMO, Project Business Management Office, or a center of excellence. What it means is, first of all, it's the same thing as a PMO running internal projects. You have the same tasks, but something comes on top. What comes on top is someone has to, I wouldn't say supervise, someone has to monitor the project. What is their economic contribution to the organization? Projects that run for paying customers, if a company has a portfolio of such projects, each of these projects has to deliver a margin. This margin contributes to the overall business situation of the organization. Then you have two types of costs which are independent from the projects. One thing is indirect costs, sometimes called overhead costs, G&A, general administrative costs, F&A, facilities, whatever you like. There are so many names for that, different names for that. This is something that the added on margins, the cumulated margins from the projects, they have to cover these costs. And there's a second type of costs that is independent of the projects, and that's the cost to bring in new business. You know that project business is temporary. It's not your customer for all time that you are serving here. You're running a project for the customer pays you. And at one point in time, there will be a last payment. And this is not something that makes you sad. This is something that you celebrate. You have a party when the project is over, of course. This is something we want. It makes us happy. It makes us happy to say, hey, look, this is what we built for this customer. The customer is happy. We are happy. Everything is great. But now we need new business. This business is over. The last payment has been made. So what you need is also this contribution margin must also contribute to paying the cost of winning new business. So we have two cost factors that are not linked to the individual projects. So they are linked to project management, but not to individual projects. Now you need an organizational unit that is in a position to have an overview, have a monitoring function over all these projects and over all these costs. So it's not just now a project management office, it's really a business office that you have here that understands what are the costs that we have, the costs for the individual projects, then the costs that are not assignable to the projects. And then they have to monitor the situation. Where do we stand? If you have a small company, say less than 100 people, this is of course just the job of management. You have a manager of the organization, and the manager, maybe with a little team, will manage that. No question at all. But these organizations tend to grow. And the more they grow, the more likely it is that management will no more be able to do that. So they need a specific place inside the organization to do that. So that's the contractor side. On the customer side, we have a similar situation. Project management offices they bring in what we call organizational process assets, OPAs. Yeah, OPA in Germany, by the way, means grandpa. OPA is grandpa in German. So they bring in the project management office, PMO, provides the organizational process assets for the projects inside the organization. Now we have many environments where these projects are no more than internally. They are given to contractors who use subcontractors and subcontractors and so on. So you have complex networks of suppliers in there. And a lot of things can happen there that you don't want to happen, that make you very unhappy if you notice that. One example I had not too long ago was a company who had a contractor, a prime contractor. The prime contractor had a subcontractor, and the subcontractor was the direct competitor of the customer, and the customer was not aware of that. They were not aware that their most direct, most vicious competitor was already in their project and was working for them. Yeah? And was working well, by the way. They did a great job. I met the project managers, and they did a great job for their own competitor. This was really cool. But this customer was unhappy. This customer was deeply unhappy. It made them feel very insecure, and they were very angry about that. So you need someone who has an understanding this process to develop networks of suppliers, supply networks. What is happening in there? It's a legal matter, of course. You have a legal department for that. But there is also a project procurement aspect in that. How do we want to do our projects? That's something the legal department cannot know. It's not their expertise. Their expertise is legal things. Yeah? Now we talk about project management things. How do we want to bring contractors in a way that makes them satisfied? Because when they work for us, we want them to do good work, so we have to satisfy them, but also makes ourselves satisfied. We are prepared to pay for something. Yeah, we expect this to be delivered, and then we want to have that. We want to have what we paid, what we ordered, and what we are prepared to pay for. So this is something where a PMO, a more classical PMO, needs to provide different organizational process assets. It's no more just having a template for a project charter and for a risk register and so on. It's about process assets for business, for building these networks, supply networks.
Yeah, that's a very interesting concept. I see there's a lot of alignment between the mindset of project business and the project management office. And you said that better, business management office. I like that. So we are about to finish the interview. So if people want to know more, I think that you have some trainings about project business where they can go and find more information about project business, and they can know better and implement these practices in the organization.
The best way to, just a second, sorry, some noise coming in. The best way to get information, basic information, is project-business.org, project-business.org. This is the Project Business Foundation.
That projectbusiness.org.
Yes, with a dash in the middle.
Okay.
With a hyphen, a minus symbol. Project-business.org. And that's where I have a lot of material there. I have some surveys there. I have some tools that I'm handing out, like a code of conduct that you, for instance, can use with a
but you also have in your website, you have some published training that you have some courses about project business.
This is not directly for the training. This is for the topic. This is just for the topic, project business. There is no training in that. For training, my website is Oliver Lehmann without a dash now, oliverlehmann.com. And I'm setting up, we talked about this before our meeting here, I'm setting up a program with certifications, and there will be a certification for practitioners. It's in development at the moment. And meanwhile, finished is a second certificate which is for consultants and educators, because I think these are the two big gaps that we have at the moment in project business.
Yeah,
We
I think so.
need trainers. We need a lot of trainers there. It is, we're not talking about a fringe business, something small. This is big business, sometimes with billions of dollars involved. This is huge business that we have here.
Right.
And we don't have educators who prepare people for that. And we also don't have consultants that help these people when they have difficulties. When you're a contractor and your business is not profitable, where do you find the consultant who can help you out of that? And if you are the customer and you have a network of suppliers, and this network is in crisis, and I saw networks in crisis, everything is full of conflict and disputes and a claim and a counterclaim and so on. No more trust across these organizations. Where's the consultant who can help them to come back again together? Because what everyone wants is a great project. Everyone wants to have a great project, but sometimes it's like family. Yeah? It's like in a family. We all want to have a good family at home, but sometimes we struggle to achieve that. And that's the same in the projects here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's what we need. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Oliver, that was a great honor to have you here and share about project business. I know a lot of people are gonna be interested in knowing that because that's the order of the day. So organization, they need those departments or those groups that add value to them in whatever they do. So they're thinking about the project management office now a popular thing in organization because we need to do it better. So it's a great topic. I appreciate the time that you took to talk to me about project business, and hopefully we're gonna see you again. Thank
Would
you
love
very
to see
much.
that. Thank you so much.
Bye.